Good afternoon. Welcome. It is Monday, June 12th, 2023, and my iPad says I'm live and recording. So let's hope everything catches up with that, and let me know if you are here. Take a deep breath. I was just finishing up doing a couple of things, and I looked up at my clock, and it's 3:30. Okay, now YouTube says I'm live. I say this every week. I don't know how much of a time lapse there is. But anyway, if you are here, let me know. And I'm getting a glare on this beautiful stamp set that I'm going to share with you today. Now, I've lost a little piece, and that's what I was dealing with here. Hi, Shirley. Welcome. Okay, so somebody's here. Oh my goodness, what a week it has been since we last met, last Monday. And here we're coming up on the middle of June already. So it's flying just like May did. I don't know where it's going. But anyway, we had some much needed rain overnight. And it's still kind of dreary and chilly out there today. But I'll sure take it. We needed that rain desperately. So here today, and hello, Sue. Welcome to you too. Okay, lost that tiny little piece of paper. Where did it go? Anyway, that's okay. So yesterday, as I was in my mind planning what I wanted to do today, which is what I usually do kind of on Sundays, I think about it all week, and then I actually do the planning on Sunday. And I didn't have any stamps current to make some Father's Day cards. But as I looked through the catalog, I thought there are a lot of stamp sets that will fill that bill, for so to speak, for making a masculine card or a Father's Day card. Basically, you could use anything and just say Happy Father's Day inside. So that's kind of where I went from there. But a year ago, this stamp set was released. It was actually a pre-release. Hello, Francine. Welcome. It was a pre-release and came out with as a bundle because it was going to be in the 22-23 catalog. And it came out with the most gorgeous paper in the entire world and some gems. And was it just the paper and the gems and this? I believe that was it. There wasn't any ribbon or anything. But anyway, that was only as supplies last. The paper was stunning. But it's no longer available, of course, and wasn't when the catalog went live. And fortunately, then this stamp set carried over to the 23-24 catalog. The only thing is, it's not in a bundle anymore. You get the stamp set separate, which is on page 113, and the dies are on page 167 in the catalog. And just as an explanation, if you're new to the process, once a catalog changes over to a new catalog, the new bundles no longer are bundled together. That is only for the year or the catalog that they're released in. So when we get a mini catalog, those are bundles, and you get the 10% discount. And then when that catalog retires, then if that set carries over, they're no longer bundled together, and the discount isn't there. So that's the case with this. I wanted to bring this out. You could use the stamp set without the dies, but the dies are pretty amazing too. So anyway, just with the bundle opportunity, that only lasts for a catalog season. So, and I guess the reason this caught my eye and brought it back up for a Father's Day thing, your strength is an inspiration. That could be for a dad, a son-in-law, a nephew, grandson, anybody who kind of fits that bill in your life. You're so totally awesome. Also great. Great happy birthday. Our friendship is a thing of beauty. This could also be, I think, a good sympathy card as well as a get well, because it's just so serene. That's my word, serene today. And then these are the dies, which I'm really not going to do too much with the dies today, except maybe this one. And I wanted to show you the clouds. There are 2 cloud dies that give you this. And I think those look the best anyway. That's just the cloud. And then this die and this die make dimension for the clouds. And this little one just escaped me a minute ago because I thought I had it cut out, and I did, and then it's little and it's gone. Nope, not there. Okay. But I think the clouds look better without that little bit of dimension on there, so I don't typically use those, but these I do use. So anyway, let's get started. I have some samples to show you at the end, so I hope you stick around to the end. And if you are new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe to it and also share if you want to. Oh, and before I go and get started, we are still having a designer series paper sale through the month of June, and this includes new product that's in the annual catalog, as well as one of the online exclusive ones. And I will show you how I incorporated some designer paper with the samples that I have to show you at the end. And that's a 15% off select papers, and that's a great, great deal. The next thing to show is that this is a great time to start as a demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And don't let that word scare you. You don't have to demonstrate anything. You can just share the opportunity with share with your friends and family the fun things that you do, or just be a hobby demonstrator and support your own products that you buy from Stampin' Up! And with that, you get a 20% discount. So let's go back to where I was here. There we go. I took my face away so you can see the whole thing here. Let's take my name away there and move along. All right. So the first card that I'm going to show you, now this one's a little bit different color than what I'm going to use, is just basic stamping, and I'll show you how I got these clouds back in here. Now this one, I picked up the wrong color paper, but it ended up looking okay. This is Balmy Blue. No, excuse me. Yeah, that's Balmy Blue and Pool Party. But what I really wanted to pick up was Azure Afternoon, which is one of our brand new core colors. So that's what I'm going to use to stamp with. Let's see if I've got all the little pieces parts out of here. I do. So this is Azure Afternoon, and this reminds me of Tempting Turquoise that we used to have, but I like it a lot better. And Azure, I believe, is one of those colors of water. Let's put it that way. It's not a watercolor, it's colors of water. So, oh goodness, I got a sad face on here. Oh, Nero, oh no. I hope that was a mistake. Anyway, and my color coach says that it goes well with Pool Party. So I'm going to have a basic layer of Azure Afternoon, Pool Party, and then basic white. And I think I'm going to need to cut this down a little bit because this is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 for a top fold card. And then this is a 1/4 inch smaller. So this is 5 1/4 by 4. And let's see if this one's right. This one's going to go on the inside. Now, this technique that I'm going to use on this is a little bit different than the one that I showed you. This was just basic stamping right on there. And I'm also going to show you how I got the clouds on there too. Actually, let's do the clouds first. If you look on page 162, we have a standalone set of dies called Basic Borders. And there happens to be one in there that looks like clouds, along with other things that you can use for borders on your cards. And I've used this enough with this stamp set that I just keep this in the stamp set. So I know I can always make clouds on my card. And for that, I'm going to use one of our blending brushes. And the blending brushes are on page 187. You get 3 of these. These are the large ones that we came out with first. And then we now have small ones, which I'm going to use in a minute. So let's, first of all, I'm going to see how much color I have on here. Because a lot of times if you have a lot of color left in your brush, you can get a lot of ink out of there if you press hard and get some cloud look already on there. So I'm not even going to add any more ink to this. And let's just do it at an angle. Everyone would be a little bit different. You can make it a little bit lighter. Okay, I don't think we have any of these pretty clouds today, but that's okay. All right, I think that's going to look fine. So there we've got some clouds in the sky. Now I'm going to use these same brushes to add ink to that large stamp. And this is the stamp that I'm going to use. And to get some good color on here, I'm going to be using Granny Apple Green. Okay, close your eyes and think of the ocean and the waves. And think of the colors that you might see based on the sun or how the light is shining on the water where you might be. So we're going to use some Granny Apple Green, some Night of Navy. Let's see, this one's going to be first. Oh, there's that tiny piece of paper I was looking for. See, it actually looks like a scrap of paper. So there it is. That's what it was. It went away. And the Azure Afternoon. So I'm going to start with Granny Apple Green, and here's where I'm going to pull in my small blending brushes. And these do come in a pack of 3. You don't need one for every color, of course, but you might want one for a color palette, a selection like blues and greens and your reds and pinks and oranges. And they do clean. Okay, let's see how much color is left on this one. Quite a bit, actually. And this one, I haven't labeled them yet. This one's the Azure Afternoon, and this is the Granny Apple Green in the small. And then I'll put labels on there so I remember what they are. But I'm going to start with the Granny Apple Green, and I did re-ink my ink pads this morning, so they should be kind of juicy. So I'm just going to tap, tap, tap on here. And the top part of my wave is going to have the green on it. And if you look close, you can see how that is now looking a little bit shiny from when I had cleaned the stamp before. Okay, now I'm going to go with the Azure Afternoon in the middle, and as I tap on this, I'm going to kind of tap a little bit up into that green so it will blend some. So that's going to be the middle part. And if I hold that up to my light, I can see that I think I'm getting good coverage there. Now that I will have to say, I'm still sad about this. The sad part about this is that we don't have the stamp positioning tool. We don't have the Stamparatus anymore. Or I could maybe do this a little bit differently and stamp it each individual color at once. So I guess I'm never going to get over that. And perhaps I will use it occasionally because I know so many people do have the Stamparatus and love it. But the powers that be made the decision that we just couldn't keep it any longer thanks to other stuff that was going on. So anyway, now I'm to the Night of Navy. And kind of blending up into that other color a little bit. Now comes the fun part. Let's get some things out of the way here. So from the time I started up here with this color, went to the middle, and now I'm chatting about the blue down here, the ink will start to dry. So the way that we take care of that is to breathe on the stamp to refreshen the ink and bring that ink back to life. So obviously it's called hot air, and it will moisten that stamp. So sometimes I talk too much and there is plenty of hot air, but that's another story. So I'm going to breathe on this. You'll hear it. I'm going to add some more green up here. Hold on a minute here. That just doesn't look like there's enough up there. So now I'm going to breathe on this. Let's get my paper back here. So I don't know if you could hear that, but it was off camera because it was up next to my face. And I am going to, hope my head doesn't get in the way, stamp that on this piece of paper. Now, this is the largest block that we have. And I typically use it for obviously things like this or large background stamps. So I'm giving that a really good press. And since this is a red rubber stamp, I don't need to have any other kind of pressure under it like we need to use with the photopolymers. So cross my fingers. Ooh, wow. Check that out. Isn't that pretty? Ooh, wish I was at the ocean. Okay, so I am going to clean this off because I don't think that needs to be cleaned again, so it'll be ready for the next card that I want to do. And use my chamois here, which obviously it's been well used. I just run it under some water every once in a while. I might add some soap to it, but the color will never go out. It'll never be pretty purple again. Hello, Dava. How are you? Welcome. Okay, so now that will be dry and ready for the next card. So all I'm really going to do with this one is add some seagulls up here. And let's see, let's do that first. So then I will know that they're where they want to be. And then I will add the sentiment. Now with this little bird thing here, let me get that out of the way. Be very careful that you don't rock that, or you're going to definitely get a shadow on that. So it's just tap, 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 and straight down, straight up. Otherwise I'll get ink on there and I would be not very happy at all. And let's see, let's put one over here. Gotta have 3 of everything. And then this is the one that says, "You're so totally awesome." And I will also do that in Night of Navy. Again, tap, tap, tap. Straight down. Ooh, I even got it straight. That's pretty amazing. And that is basically the card. Let's get it mounted on the pool party. And use some liquid glue. Okay, so I hope you all had a great weekend. We waited for that rain to come yesterday, so at least we had a good Sunday afternoon. And then the rain came later. And Saturday was a beautiful day. But while I'm chatting here, getting this done and ready for the next card, last week was a crazy week. About 2.5 months ago, I took my car for an oil change and ended up leaving with my salesperson that I have worked with on many cars, telling me, "You better order a car before your lease runs out or you're not going to get one." So I said, "That's okay. I'm in no rush." So I did put an order in for a car. And she called me on Thursday morning and said, "I have a car I think you're going to want." It was a little bit more than I needed, but anyway. So otherwise my lease was going to run out in a month. And that was another story. So that's going to, let's see, that's going to go on the inside. Let's put a few birds in there. Thanks, Sue. And so I gathered myself together, cleaned out my car, even went and got it vacuumed out, although I probably didn't need to do that. And went up there after lunch. Okay, I'm going to add, hold that thought, one more thing inside here, and also put this on the envelope. And that is this pelican on a post. I guess those are called something at the ocean. And for this, I'm going to use another new color that is one of our core colors, and it's Pecan Pie. Is it pecan or pecan? Pecan Pie. And I'm going to stamp that off the edge a little bit. And just put that down there in the corner. And let's put that inside. And I'll also put that on the envelope here in a minute. So anyway, it was an all-day process because of some other things that I had to deal with that I won't go into. But anyway, I have a brand new car. It actually looks exactly like the other one. And the reason it was so hard to get it, because I want a red car. My other one was red, and I just decided I love red cars. People tell me that the police will pick you up if you have a red car, but I haven't found that to be the case. So I'm very cautious. So there is that, and I think it needs a little bit of bling. Let's see here. There we go. So I'm going to put some rhinestones on here, and I'm going to color them. So even though it might be for a masculine card, we're going to put some rhinestones on there anyway. And I don't know if you knew this, but the Stampin' Blends are perfect for making your gems any color that you want. So I'm just going to take some little ones here instead of the big ones. And color 3 of those up there. Okay, let those dry just a second. And put one of those pelicans on the envelope. Okay, so anyway, I have a new car. That's my story. Let's see, I'm going to put him over here. He's going to look out to that side. And it does have some new bells and whistles and some great safety features that I'm very happy with. And so I will say that when I get a new car, the safety features really do help with the insurance. So my insurance didn't go up. So we're pretty good to go. Let me give you a little tip. When I open my gems like this, rather than tear it in the back and open it up that way, I slit along the side so that my gems can slide right back in the envelope. And that kind of works for me. All right, where are we going to put these? Let's get take a pick tool and slide these off of there. And just put them up at the top. And now we have gems that also match the Azure Afternoon. Okay, so that way I can just slide that back in, and it makes it very, very easy. All right, so there is card number 1, and I'm going to do card number 2, which is very, very easy. Let's close this one up. And just very quickly, I'm going to clean these, because these new ink pads are pretty juicy, and then I had re-inked all of the others this morning so I could use it for that technique. And I will say that when you buy a new ink pad, it's always a good idea to add the re-inker on at the same time, because there's so many other, first of all, there's so many other things you can do with re-inkers. And second of all, you never know when that ink is just going to kind of dry up. Although the ink pads do last a long time. I have some ones from way back, and the colors don't change. The only thing that changes is when a new in color goes away, and the in color refills go very quickly. So let's go to the next one. Thanks, Sue. That is a good tip, and I probably learned that from somebody else. Now, with this card, let's get the envelope out of the way so it doesn't get dirty. I'm using Blueberry Bushel. instead of the Night of Navy. I liked the way it looked. I picked it up by kind of by mistake when I was putting my sample together, and I thought it was a great blue color for the water that I wanted to show. So this is Blueberry Bushel. And so this is going to go on the outside. And for this one, let me show you the sample first so you get an idea of what I'm doing. It's this. It's very simple. And I'm going to use the You're So Totally Awesome once again. So I punched a hole in one of my little grid papers here. I punched that with the 2 3/8 inch punch. This is an online exclusive. It was released after a catalog, so there are certain items that can only be viewed online. It doesn't mean that's the only way you can purchase them, but it can only be viewed online. And it's nice to get some of these circle punches back instead of always having to die cut something. So this is a 2 3/8, and I just did that, punched that in there. And I'm going to kind of lay this down here and decide where I want that to go. And I'm going to take a little piece of Post-it tape just to make sure this doesn't slip. And I think there's enough ink left on this Night of Navy to put some color here in the background. This is going to look like a dark sky. It's a little bit darker than I want, but I think it's okay. If not, I can turn it over. And then I'm going to take that beautiful Azure Afternoon, just add ink to that. And without getting my head in the way here, stamp that down. Hopefully I did it right in the circle. So what I created was a mask. This is masking that area so that I don't get ink anywhere else. Ooh, that's not bad. Okay, that's not too bad. So there's the original one. Now this is a little bit smaller piece of paper, and that had a lighter background. But when you are working with your blending brushes, probably every single time you're going to get something a little bit different. So I'll just go with it. That's okay. Then I can use that again if I want to. And let's add some of those little birds up there again. Okay, good enough. And I think I've got a piece here. Here we go. So on this one, I cut out the tag from the die set. And I'm also going to stamp You're So Totally Awesome on here. And I think I'll use the Night of Navy. Perfect. Now with this, I'm pulling in a new set of twine. This is the 2325 in color jute trim. So these are the in colors, therefore the blue that's coming out of here is the boho blue. But I find that it goes well with all of these other colors. I love the coordination. And these are the other in colors that we will have for the next 2 years. Copper clay, pebbled path, wild wheat, and somebody help me out there. That fifth one just escaped my brain. Okay, so I already have a little piece of this cut off for one of these. And I think the jute looks better than a regular ribbon to go through this, to make a little slip knot. Okay, so I went through the front on that. That's going to be a little bit long. I don't need that much for this next one. And this is really curly coming off of there, so it'll be okay once I get it taped down on the back. Just snip that off. Okay, so this is going to go on here. The reason that other one is way off to the side is because I made a mistake. I didn't like what I stamped underneath, so it went over that way. So this one, I'm just going to offset a little bit more and put it in the middle. So a good way to secure your things in the back, let's add some dimensionals to this first of all. Get those out of the way. Okay, I like to secure things on the back with our Terran tape. Because this stuff is very, very sticky. So I'm just going to add a little bit here. Let's tear that off first. Then I can pull this pretty tight. Thanks, Diva. And then put another piece over here, and then I can snip that off, the extra off. And I might keep it for something else too. There's plenty there. I went a little bit too long. And besides, I think some other tape or glue that I might put down there might not hold the jute, because it's real, it's got a lot of fibers there, and so I don't want something else to pull away from that. Now I know it's double-sided, but I'm not taking that double-sided part off. I can just control it that way a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to also pop this up on the back. And I like to put dimensionals down in the center so my card doesn't collapse in the middle. And I know that's a lot, but they're always Always good. Can't have too many dimensionals. And I look at them, and if they're all shiny, I know all my backings are off of there. Oh, one of those little backs got back on there and didn't want to come back off. So I guess once they're off, they're off. All right. So now let's put this on this piece of blueberry bushel. And let's put this on the inside. We'll just add some little birds up there. And on this one for the inside, I'm going to add a little bit more of this Azure Afternoon to just the bottom of this. And hoping I don't mess it up. And this time I'm going to turn the stamp upside down and just add some of that ocean look, whoops, to the bottom of the card. So I'm turning it upside down. And there we've got some ocean at the bottom. So kind of got double duty out of that to give that ocean look in there. Let's see if I can do this without getting ink on here because my fingers are inky. Add some adhesive to the inside. There we go. All right. And I'm going to take this Azure Afternoon Light blend, Stampin' Blend, and take the lid of that and add a little bit of spatter. I don't know what it is about me and splattering, but I like to do that. And in place of putting gems on a card, that's what I like to do. Okay, so that adds that. And I think that's it. Let me, in lieu of getting my elbow on that stamp, which I think was about the next thing that was going to happen, I will clean that off. So here is this card. Here is the sample that I started with. Okay, I kind of like this one a little bit better. I think I'd use the lighter color there than there, but it's still okay. And this one I did put some white gems on, the classic matte dots, and colored them with the blend. So that one has that. Let's see. I did not stamp the envelope on that, but I think I will forego that and move on so you can see the rest and the samples that I did. Okay, here is the other card that I started with. And, where did it go? Thank you, Shirley. Okay, this was my original card. I laid it down somewhere. Oh well, that's the original. Now to get to the samples. Okay, that was the original. The one that I did today, about the only thing that was different on it, I did use the 3 different colors on here, and I used the Azure Afternoon in the back. So now here are my other samples. This is one with the die, one of the dies that go on that I didn't show that so much on when I showed you the dies, but this will cut out individual detailing of the actual ocean and the wave. Okay, I've got the little clouds popped up there, some birds, that's a die, and then I colored the rhinestones there. So that is basic white, thick cardstock with Night of Navy. Here's one that I used to say Dad, and this is from the best, forget what it is, that has all of your relatives on it, that says Dad on it. But let me show you the paper that I used here for a designer paper card. This is the paper, and I added clouds to that, and it comes from the Daisy paper. So that's this one. And again, it's got that, I stamped on it and then die cut it out to get that detail of the ocean. And then the last one is paper that is one of the online exclusives, and that's this one. And this is the Hello Irresistible 6x6 paper. It's online, but it is part of the 15% off. And there's that one. So they're all very simple. In this one, I die cut out the pelican and wrapped some linen thread around that. So those are the cards for today. And I hope you enjoyed the little hints and tips. Oh, here was the original one. Duh. I put it off to the side. All I need to do is open my eyes and turn my head and look. So this was the one that I did today. So I've got lots of these, and I'll send one off to my son-in-law. He is totally awesome. My grandson's out of the country right now, so he will not get one till he comes back. And those are the cards for today. Now, next week, I will not be here. I'll be out of town. And so I will see you again on June 26th at 3:30 in the afternoon. So have a great rest of the week. And enjoy the weather, enjoy the rain, and let's hope that everything turns green again. So take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.